Everybody, it's rumination and application time. It's the last one for the semester. Yay! No more. I'm super excited. So, the last one, I treated myself. I'm at Starbucks, which means there's a little bit more noise. That's why I have my headphones on. There may still be a little bit more background noise. But I have this. So this week we talked about specific cultural rhetorics with Kennedy. We talked about Chinese rhetorics and Indian rhetorics, but I inverted them. I talked first about Indian rhetorics and then Chinese rhetorics. It was a week. I'm just going to leave it at that for this. There was a lot of different things that were really interesting about this week with Indian rhetorics. It talked a lot about with the Aryan people that a lot of them, there was a particular hymn that was passed down generation through generation, and that's how the early, I think it's Sumerian. I get that wrong. I think it's Sumerian language started, and actually how that language was cultivated from the very beginning. And I was just wondering how, if the hymns were actually cultivated through a sort of storytelling type process, even though they weren't fictional stories, but if the language was actually cultivated through that process of bringing groups of people together and orally telling it again and again, and that's how they started to build up those language through discussing hymns, and through telling those hymns, that's how the language began to evolve and build, adding other hymns, discussing old ones, bringing in new ones. And then I talked about the Native American rhetorics as well as that another cultural standpoint as comparison to Indian rhetorics. So both bringing in oratorial ideas about music as a center to move their language forward, which was also very prevalent in Native American tribal languages. The center of their music, which was usually the center of tribal dances and such things, which helped to move their tribal languages forward. I was really curious about that whole storytelling type, because it was really much like getting a group of people together, telling it and passing it on, which is the storytelling type thing, but it's not fictional, so that's where I was kind of going back and forth about that and trying to discuss it, and having that kind of push and pull on it, and really interesting. And that's what's interesting, kind of what pulls me together in talking about the Chinese rhetorics is, what do modern interpretations help us talk about and actually understand ancient rhetorics that don't have as many texts. So maybe the hymns, or maybe artists that are doing interpretations of early Indian hymns or hymns from those languages, maybe some of those are the only things left. Because musicians learn to do early interpretations of certain types of hymns and things, so maybe those are some of the only things we have left, are artistic interpretations today. But how would artistic interpretations help us learn about the past? How could that help? How could that hurt? Would people of today only look at the artistic interpretations? Would they not try to look further? I talked about that in my post about the Tao of Pu, talking about the Taoisms and also Chinese proverbs as well. So Pu Taoisms is a book. They also have another one on Piglet, I can't remember, was another term that was covered in the chapter on Chinese rhetoric. But I'm a big Pu fanatic, and it's actually really good thought. And the whole idea of which I was talking about in that too, how Americans attach themselves to inspirational quotes to kind of guide themselves by their lives and guide their lives by. And how does that help us get closer to Chinese rhetoric? Do people even think of Chinese rhetoric when they think of fortune cookies and the Tao of Pu and inspirational quotes, which were actually really foundational getting from Chinese proverbs? So, is this helping us learn about ancient rhetoric? Is this helping our understanding of ancient rhetoric? Or are the two so different? Are they pulling so much apart that are these interpretations of ancient rhetoric becoming so completely their own thing that they don't attach to the other? That's where I don't really know, and I'm interested in that, because I really like modern interpretations of different things. When I was in London, I saw, which was a little bit bizarre, I saw a postmodern version of the opera La Traviata, which was a 4-hour without intermission show. It was a little tough, but it's really interesting to see things that are taken out of their context. But does it help us learn? Does seeing a postmodern version of La Traviata help us learn about the original La Traviata and the original purposes that the artist was trying to get across with the original pieces? So that's really interesting. So the original purpose of the ancient rhetors, are they somewhat balancing to the new purposes of these new artists, or are they completely separating them in the middle line? I don't know. Well, that ends the semester of oh my gosh, I almost forgot the name of it. Rumination and Applications. Hey! See you later!